Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I am going to be using these fabulous two stencils from JMC Designs, Hattie's Clan collection. I have done another video on that, so you may well have seen that. I'm going to be using them on the gel press, as if you hadn't guessed. Apologies for the light shining down, but I can't do anything about it reflecting onto the gel press. So we are going to start with some acrylic paint. I have my brayer. I have a selection of acrylic paint. Most of them are these De La Rowney graduate ones. They're just in colours that I'm really into at the minute. But I've also got this, which is Crawford and Black, and I've got some Pebeo Studio as well in white. So let's see what we end up with. So I'm just going to put base colour down, and for my base colour I'm going to go with this. This indigo is just, I'm in love with this colour. I really am. I'm really taken with it. It's fabulous. It's because I've got yellow on my plate, there's a hint of green about it, which I think just makes it even more exciting. And then I'm going to just roll my brayer off at the side here, and then get a piece of paper. You know what, before I do that I'm just going to pop this on. Actually, I'm going to go straight on to using the stencils. We'll pop that on, we'll pop this over the top. This is just some paper that I have in my stash. I don't know what brand it is, I don't know what GSM it is. It feels like it's about a 160 to a 180. It's not overly thick, probably about a 160 I would have thought. So I'm just making sure that I'm pressing into where all the different bits of the stencil are, and let's see what comes off. How cool is that? I love it, absolutely love it. It's brilliant. Right, so I'm going to lift that off, pop it to one side, get another piece, and I'm just going to put it straight on top. I'm not even going to use any white, and hope that I can still get a pull off it. It may be that I need to put the white on, or another colour on, to actually act as the transfer paint, but I'm hoping. Let's see. Brilliant, it was still wet enough. How cool does that look? Isn't that brilliant? What I love as well is it's gone all speckly because it's had the plastic on top. So if we look here, you can see it's made it go all speckly on here because of the plastic being in contact with the acrylic. But then what that's done, it's allowed some of the other colours off my gel press to come through in various little bits. I've got little hints of yellows and greens and pinks and purples. Oh, I just love it. Love it. Right, so next I'm going to have a go with some grey. There we go. Again, this is natural grey. It's the graduate acrylic. So I just got these at the range a few weeks back, and I'm quite liking them. It's the first time I've actually had this brand of paint, and I do quite like them. Actually, not tell a lie, it's the second I went back and bought some more, having had a few, and I really like them. So this time I'm just going to pop this one down. This flower one I love, and I love it with the grey as well. Wait till you see this. It's brilliant. It's just brilliant. Right, so we're going to get now the images of the flowers. I'm making sure I'm giving it a really good press. You can go over this if you want to with a brayer, so you put in equal pressure on, but I love that. That it just comes out so nicely, and I'm thinking that with another colour sprayed over the top of it would be amazing. Right, I'm going to leave that on this time, and I'm going to go with purple. Oh no, I've got metallic pink here. Let's see what happens with metallic pink. So I'm just going to put a splodge on, and I'm going to brayer over the top. Now I'm adding a little bit of pressure because I want it to go down into the stencil. I don't want it to just sit on top. Brayer that off on my runoff sheet and get another piece of paper. I never ever have enough paper to hand when I do this. I always think, oh, I'll be good this time. I'll not have as many. Yeah, right. Okay, so this is what happens if we do the pull straight off it. Love it. So now we have grey underneath and pink on top. Now that looks to me, we might get away with it. Right, this could go wrong because the grey may be slightly too dry, but we'll try it. But if it is, then I'll just do another one and show you what I was trying to get. I love what you can do with stencils on the gel press, because these are just perfect as card fronts. I mean, you don't even need to do anything with them. Oh, it's come out alright, this actually. So on this one, we've got that beautiful mottled grey. We've got the beautiful pink, and it's thick around the edges because we took off the centre colour on this pull, so the pink is thicker. You can see we've not got it there, so we have got it here. So they're exactly the same. Okay, but what we've also got, and I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but we've got the swirl left over from the original print we did of that stencil as well. So I think that looks just amazing. Right, let's see what else we can do. Got some purple here. Let's add a little bit of purple. In fact, let's do a clean up. Let's stick some white onto here and clean up my plate, and just take off some of this colour that we've got. So I'm going a bit more to the edges, and I'm not intending for this to be a perfect print. This is a clean up pull. So I'm going to get a slightly smaller piece of paper that doesn't fit the 6x6 on. I'm going to intentionally put it this way because we've got some paint at the edges. I mean, it could work out. We might end up with something we can use, which is why I'm doing the centre bit first, to give it a chance, because you never know. Actually, I quite like it. I quite like that. Yeah, I'll do a second pull with another piece of card, just in case I decide to use that. So I'm just now going to clean up the edges. So you'll have seen, if you've seen my other videos using the gel press, I've done cleanups, I've done layer after layer after layer, I've added in textures and things. So this is just really simply using two amazing stencils and seeing what we can get with them. So here we have quite a nice background. I'm going to see if I can pull any more off the edges, and we can start building up the layers for this one. So we're getting some nice interesting bits of colour. This colour here we've not even used today, it's just what's left on the plate from past playtimes. Do adore using my gel plate. You will find this if you watch any of my gel press videos. It just makes me happy. This is my happy place. Right, so I'm going to put down some, what should we go for? I'm thinking I'm going to go floral again, but I'm going to go with the indigo this time, I'm going to use just a little bit, and I'm going to intentionally roll it vertically. So I'm keeping that roughly just in the middle, because I just want that bit. So it doesn't matter there's little bits at the sides, that doesn't bother me at all. So I'm going to aim for roughly getting that down the middle here. I don't know if any of you have seen the new tool that has been brought out by Jelly Art for aligning your paper onto your gel plate so that you get consistent positioning. Looks like an amazing tool. It does look really, really impressive, but I think it's just, I don't think it's something that I need enough to spend what they're asking for the cost. That looks kind of cool, doesn't it? So we've almost got a frame around it. Right, let's lift that off, and this was a mop-up, so I'm not going to be overly precious. I'm going to roughly aim for getting that in the middle. Oh yes, that's not a bad guesstimate. Not bad at all, Angela, not bad at all. Right, now I do have my yellow here, and I rather like the yellow. Ugh. Just pick off the little dry bits. This is ochre, which always makes me think of Joseph in his amazing technical dream coats. It's one of the colours listed for his dream coat. Right, now I'm thinking this one, this colour is rather lush, and I want to use it in conjunction with the turquoise, indigo, not turquoise, indigo. Okay, let's take off the centre bit of this, because I want to use what's left behind. Take the ink off here. So this is doing similar to what we did with the pink on the flowers. We're taking off the paint here. So we've cleared that off a little bit. Looks kind of cool. We've missed a bit there, so I'm going to go back in. I'm not bothered about the accuracy because this isn't my main project. Actually, that wasn't a bad guesstimate. That's still usable, so that's fine. But what we're going to do now is put the indigo over the top. So you can build your layers by taking the paint off as you go. Now, to get this on really thoroughly and to make sure it goes in, you need to press. If you just go over it like that, your paint is just going to be sitting on top of the mylar that your stencils are made out of. If you press firmly, it sinks down into the gel plate, and that means that the gel plate then comes into contact with your brayer and picks up the colour. So now in theory, when I lift this, we have a yellow outline and an indigo middle. Yes, that's what we wanted. Now for this one, I really want it to dry before I do anything else with it, so I'm actually going to pop it to one side and come back to it in a minute. And in the meantime, we'll have a think about what we can do with some of these. So we've made quite a few prints in a very short period of time. I love that one. I think that one is phenomenal, so I'm going to do something with that. I really like this one. That one needs a bit more done to it. I like that one. I like them all, truth be told, because these stencils are brilliant. I mean, look at those two. Those two colours just go so amazingly well. You know what you could do? Cut down the middle of both of them and then join them together. Oh, that would be kind of cool. Okay, I'm going to do that. That's just what I'm gonna do. So to do that, we need to decide where we're going to cut. I'm going to do it with a ruler. That's not a ruler, Angela, that's a spatula. That's a ruler. And a scalpel. So, these have been done in 2 different ways up. Which means we can actually remove bits if we want to. It's not going to work because they'd have been done the same way around. I've obviously decided to twist it. What I was thinking was we could cut from the centre of a heart to the centre of here and butt them up together, but when I've looked now, that one is to the right, that one's to the left, so I've obviously flipped my stencil. Sugar butties. That would have been nice. Right, I'll chop this one down a little bit. I'm just going to judge where the edge of the stencil came, roughly. Sometimes it's nice to just get out a scalpel and a steel blade and cut, because then you're choosing where you want it to cut. There we go. So I am vaguely using the lines on my mat just as a quick guidance. Right. So that now looks off kilter, doesn't it? Right, let's get a piece of card. You're too small. Let's get another piece. So if we now pop that on here, I'm going to discover that's off kilter. Right, we've done those edges straight. So let's level it up. Oh, it's way off. I think we quite often forget that we've got a tool in our glass mats that we can use to straighten things up. I know I do. I tend to rely on other pieces. Oh, that's better. So how cool does that look? Just in the middle of there, on a black background, that looks brilliant. And then all you need is a sentiment across the front, or you could add on a flower in the middle. Oh, that actually, that looks really cool. Let's see what other colours. No, I don't think that colour will go as well. No, I like it with that one though. That looks cool. In fact, I think I might just pop that one together. And we've got a card. Ho ho. In the meantime, we've still got this drying over here. We will come back to it, but let's make this up while we've got it all in front of us. So I'm going to pop on double-sided tape. It still makes me think of Blue Peter when I say double-sided tape. It was the first time I ever heard of it, and I never ever had any as a kid. I remember feeling very grown up the first time I owned double-sided tape. Right, I'm thinking I would like that to have a little bit of a black edge. This needs to be re-inked. You can see how tatty that's getting. It just needs to be re-inked. I think there's still enough to just get rid of the stark whiteness of that edge. And I think I might bring it in a little bit. Let's grunge this up a little bit. This spiral effect is based on kind of going down the rabbit hole in Alice in Wonderland. It's that kind of a scenario, and that's why we've got the hearts and the diamonds for the playing cards and things. It's a lovely, lovely stencil. I'm not really obsessed with it. Right, I'm going to swap that for a different ink pad because it's not working the way I want it to. Oh, that's better. Getting some black on now. That's what we want. So I hope you're all having a lovely, lovely time and you're enjoying watching this. So you can see I've now got black ink everywhere. Just let me get a raggy and give my hand a bit of a wipe. I think we've nearly finished cooking in the gel press, so by the time we've popped this together and trimmed it down, I think we'll be ready to go. I've said this before on videos, sometimes people struggle with lifting the tape. If you just burnish the edge before you try and lift it, it makes sure that the bottom layer is firmly stuck before you're actually trying to lift the backing off it, so it just works a little bit easier. Right, I think I might want that on the hammered side. I think it's more in keeping. Sorry, I whacked the camera there, I didn't realise. Apologies. Right, let's trim that down. Ruler and knife. Turn it that way, then I can see what I'm leaving behind. I've just put a new blade in my knife and I just get so excited when it's a new blade because it just cuts so well. I've had this scalpel for years and years and years and I'm still using up the first lot of blades that I bought with it because they last really well. Oh, I've just had another thought of what I can do. Anyway, right, where did I put that flower? I'm going to pop that in the middle and then we have a lovely card front. So I wasn't intending to do this, but it just shows you that I do occasionally finish projects. So this flower was just made using the flower stencil, funnily enough, which I now can't find. There it is. So it was made using this in another video, and some polyfiller and spray ink. So I'm quite liking that. I think that looks kind of cool. There we go. Right, let's go back to this one. So this one now, everything looks dry, so I'm going to put a layer of white behind it because I want the colours to actually pop to the true colour. If I put another colour behind it, it impacts on how the colour comes through and how much of it shows up. That's quite a lot of paint I've put on there. It could be a little bit too much, but no matter. If you do find you're putting on too much, just brayer off the excess and come back in. You want it to be so that you can see your image underneath. So you can see there, we can start to see that spiral. That's how we want it. If you've got too much paint, all you're going to do when you do your pull is lift the layer of paint that's there. You're not actually going to lift the image that you're wanting to lift. It'll just stay put. Right, I'm going to put that on there and give it a rub-a-dub-dub. I'm quite excited about this one because I love these two colours together. And what I'll do after this actually is do a pull off exactly the same print but onto black, just so that you can see how it looks onto the black. Oh, this is fab. Oh, I love it. I love that. I've not done that before. I really, really love it. You can see I've maybe not rubbed enough down here, but I love the distressed look of that. I think that looks brilliant. Oh, exciting times. Right, I'm going to pop some more white on. I'm going to have to invest in some more white paint soon, I believe. I'm running out. I've had 3 tubes on the go for a while now, and they're all getting a little bit less full than I would like. Right, let's see. It's not quite big enough. Let's get another piece. So I'm intentionally using a piece here that isn't a whole piece because I know that I've got enough on it. You can see I've used it for die cutting, but let's use what's left. And don't forget, with things like this as well, you can use this on your gel plate as stencils. So that's something else to consider. Let's see what comes up. This might not work at all. We might not have enough left, but then again we might. Right, so you got a really, really pale image just around the edges really, so that's not worked terribly well. But what we can do now, I'm just going to chop off that edge, just so we're not focusing on those, because we're not using them in this. Let's get rid of them. I always get sidetracked when I'm doing videos. I never quite stick to what my plan is because I get excited. Right, so we've now got a greyish background, so let's add on a little bit of purple. I'm just going to go put that on and add on the purple. There we go. Get a good layer of purple. It's a lovely purple, that's violet. So we've got indigo and violet. I hadn't realised I'd picked up both. I literally just went into the shop and I want that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. They're only a couple of quid each, they're about £3 each. But don't quote me on that because I'm terrible at remembering how much things cost. Right, so we now have this. Lift that off and we're just left with the image, which is what we want. I'm not being careful and trying to align it up. I'm not worried about that at all. The first layer was just a background, so it's fine that there's little parts of it, because again it adds interest. When you've got little bits of the image in the background, it adds interest and it makes you realise there's other bits there if they match up to the bit at the front, which is always good. Oh, now that looks nice. I like that. But you know what? I want some of the flowers. I'm thinking, alright, I'm going to intentionally put, yeah, I'll put the whole flower thing down and then I'll put them over the top. Right, we're going to put the pink, just because pink and purple go nicely, over the top. I ended up getting myself a new brayer as well. I was cleaning off one of my old brayers and I decided I'd pick some of the old acrylic off with my knife. One I've just been using to cut the paper. I use it for everything. And as I was cleaning it off, I managed to take a chunk out. So I decided I'm keeping it because it adds texture, but I don't always want that texture, so I had to invest in a new brayer. But I love it, and it's always going to be useful. Right, I'm going to lift this off because I actually want the whole flower, so I don't just want a bit of it this time, I want all of it. But I only want the centre. I'm going to shift my paints, pop a piece of paper here, so that'll take one print. Pop a piece of paper here, that'll take a print. So I'm purposely putting them down as well so that we're getting a print, I'm not wasting it. And then I want to go roughly central, so that's about there, and then take a print. So again, this could go horribly wrong, and that's the best thing about gel printing, is you don't actually ever quite know what you're going to get. You can have a really good guess, but it doesn't always work. Oh, I like it. I like how that's ended up. That's a bit cool. Because that's the shimmery pink as well, so we're getting a little hint of shimmer going on. We can certainly work with that. Let's see what's left here. Oh, yes. I mean, you could even do that and have them all together like that. That looks good, doesn't it? So you're still getting all of those, put different backgrounds in the middle. Right, so So this is the one that we did originally, so I'm going to do something with this one, and then I think that will be it for this video. I could go on for hours on this, but I'm sure you don't want me to. But I'm more than happy to do more videos on this. Now I've put my knife on I found my ruler. There's my knife. I'm terrible at losing things. Right, I'm going to make the assumption that that is a straight edge because it's the edge of the paper. I'm going to say that there's a straight edge. Yes, it is. Yippee! There we go. Yep, that works as well. Oops. It's sometimes hard to see because of the lights up above where the lines are on here. That's why I'm just taking a minute to line it up. Right, so again we now have this fabulous background that if we pop onto a sheet of black, you'll see how fab it looks. Or even that would look amazing onto a sheet of grey. But I just love it. I mean, look at that spiral. It's brilliant. And this is gone. I've got one of my very favourite stencils is one of Julia's, and these two are now up there in my top 5. So I've now got 3 of Julia's stencils in my top 5 stencils of all time, which is crazy. She's incredibly clever at doing them. So yeah, I hope you found that useful. So we've made quite a few prints. I'll just run you through them all. So we've made this one, obviously. We've made this one. We've got these 2 pieces. We could either pop them together like that and make it a narrower thing. You could have that as a card front, couldn't you? And then it opens up, so it comes together in the front and then it opens. You had a gatefold card. Then we have all of this lovely lot. I love that one. I still think that one's amazing. That one trimmed back, put something in the middle of each of the flowers just to make them pop a little bit, black edge it, trim it right back down. That'd be phenomenal. I really like this one because of its grunginess. I just think that's a really cool look, and for me that cut to about here and then trimmed to just the edge of the colour is a perfect front. This one I really like the fact that we've got that extra colour in the middle, extra little strip of blue. I love that one. And that one's just so clean and simple. If you want to, and you added, in fact, let's just do it very quickly. I'm just going to spray another colour over the top. I don't know how it's going to work. Bear with me. I haven't planned this. Oh, I know what might look nice. So I've just grabbed my Pretty Amazing spray. This one is Bittersweet Orange. Add a little bit of water to make it run around a little bit. So the paint we've used is acrylic, so it's plastic, it's not going to go anywhere, but we're immediately getting a very different look just by squirting a little bit of colour over the top. Oh, how fab does that look? There you go. So you get a very different look just by adding some colour, so don't be afraid to add your colour in afterwards. That's perfectly feasible to do, and using things like sprays makes it a really easy thing to do. Right, I will leave it there. Thank you very much for joining me. I will put a link to Julia's YouTube in the section below, just so that you can see the rest of the kit that this comes with, and I hope you found that useful. Take care, see you all soon. Bye.